Hey everybody, SWAC Insider BJ Jones here. Some big news to discuss. BJ, we have someone in the transfer portal coming out of Jackson State. I don't think it's a big surprise, but Jalon Jones announced on Thursday that he is going to enter the transfer portal. He was very thankful for his time there at Jackson State to both Coach Hendricks and Coach Deion Sanders. Again, not a surprise, BJ. He was benched in favor of Quincy there, and of course, we all know Shedeur Sanders is coming in the fall as the most highly touted recruit in Jackson State history, according to everything that's coming out today, or has been coming out since he announced. Your thoughts on Jalon Jones entering the portal?
Oh man, fantastic athlete. Like what he was able to do. He had some highlights, man, to say the least. He had some great games. I look at that no further than Alabama State this past year, and how he played injured. He's a young man, 4-star when he came out. I'm pretty sure a lot of teams are going to take a hard look at him because he is so talented. You wished it would have worked out at Jackson State, but it didn't. But it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. Being the young man that was highly touted, came from the University of Florida, so now he's on school three. What kind of looks that he will get?
And this was a tough spring for him. You alluded to the fact that he played injured. I think he had some hamstring issues there. He had an offensive line that was just matador, letting the defensive line get to him right off the snap. Was it a case of him not showing the pre-snap reads, or did he just not have a fair chance at all running for his life back there?
I think, man, you have to look at the offensive line. That there was no one who's going to be successful behind that offensive line. And I also think that the offense that they're implementing right now doesn't fit his particular skill set. I think Quinn Casey is a better quarterback in that particular offensive system. And I think they were asking Jalon Jones to kind of do some things that he's not with. So that's big. If I'm comfortable in the offense, I can thrive in it. But if you're kind of trying to squeeze a square peg into a round hole, you're going to have some heartburn and some headache. So I think that's what you ran into with Jackson State and Jalon Jones this year.
Yeah, Coach Sanders earlier in the spring, he said, I like it, but I don't love it about Jones and his propensity to run and even his ability to run. He said all along, for us to win in the long term, we're going to need a quarterback who can stay in the pocket and make those passes. Do you think Jones just had too much rabbit in him, ready to run? And again, I want to weight that question with the fact that in a lot of situations, he was forced to run because the defense was on him from the time he snapped the ball.
Yeah, that offensive line is a turnstile. So I mean, no one was going to sit in the pocket because there wasn't a pocket to sit in. Usually, you saw Quincy Casey last week. The throws that he made, they were either quick or he had to roll out and get out of the pocket. So I think it's very difficult to judge Jalon Jones from that standpoint.
There's going to be a lot of pressure on Shedeur Sanders. In the Clarion Ledger, there was a photo, and Deion Sanders talked about it this week at his local press conference where he was pointing to the scoreboard with Shedeur, and they asked him what he said. He said, this is not going to happen on your watch when you start playing, these type of losses. But he also went on to say that every position is going to be competitive and it's going to be open during camp. But you just kind of got the feeling that, barring some crazy circumstances, Shedeur is going to be the man in the fall.
I mean, the stage is being set. Shedeur Sanders took number one reps in the spring when he wasn't even playing in the spring. Stevie Wonder can see this one coming. So I think that we all know what's going on here. Yes, I'm talking about boots on the do rag and all. Like we know what's coming. But it's going to be interesting to see how does Shedeur Sanders adjust to that because there is an adjustment coming from the high school level and playing the collegiate level. I don't care what level you play on. How does he adjust? And let's say if things go bad, people going to accuse you of playing daddy ball, and that ain't a good thing.
Yeah, and he's probably going to have more media attention than any SWAC quarterback in recent history because he's Deion Sanders' son. There's nothing he can do about that.
Right. So like Jalon Jones was a 4-star, transferred from Florida. He's not going to. He didn't have the media attention his freshman year at Jackson State. And Shador Sanders is going to get this upcoming fall. Both 4 stars, but just one. One is the prime heir, so to speak.
And Jalon Jones was very courteous, complimentary of his time at Jackson State. And even though it appears that things are not going to work out there for him, Jackson State still did him a solid because coming out of the University of Florida, he was persona non grata. He had gotten into some serious trouble there. I don't think a lot of people were willing to take a chance, but Coach Hendricks at the time did. And now, and not to bring it up, but only for the sake of context, I think people, when they think of him now, they just think about him and his ability as a football player.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he came in under some difficult circumstances. Had some, a situation down at the University of Florida. But one thing about him, even when you hear him talk, there's been no complaints about Jalon Jones off the field in Jackson, Mississippi. But everyone that I've talked to say he's a stand-up guy, stand-up kid, and that lets you know that he was appreciative of the opportunity that was given. Number one, and he's grown and matured a lot. And that's what you want to see. We don't want to throw our young men out if there's a mistake made. Give them the opportunity to redeem themselves and become better young men by it.
Well, Jalon Jones, we wish him the best. Of course, things will always be interesting at Jackson State as long as Deion Sanders is the head coach there. And everybody's going to be talking about it, including us, including you. Even when you blame us for talking about it, you're in the comments too. And BJ, I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing at the fans that we can't see there on the other side of the lens. But it's all fun. That's what makes SWAC football, look, the best football that there is out there, in my opinion. BJ, thanks a lot for hanging out with us, man, and enjoy that weekend, okay?
Definitely will, man.